What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe, and I hope everyone out there is having a happy and safe holiday season. And it's the end of the year, so you know what that means. It's time for a couple of best of 2017 lists, and I'm going to start off here with my top 5 favorite Mezco releases from 2017. And despite the fact that Mezco gets a lot of criticism for their release schedules and their delays and things like that, they put out a lot of figures this year. I'm not quite sure how many, but I think it's around 20-25 figures, maybe even more. I didn't even pick up all of them. There was a bunch that I did wish that I could have got, but I didn't, and I hope to pick them up later on down the line, like Space Ghost and the Modern Red Skull. I'm still on the fence about the Modern Red Skull, actually, but yeah, there's a couple here and there that I hope to pick up later. But out of the ones I got, I'm very happy with them. It's my favorite toy line, so I'm very excited to talk about my top 5 favorite. And yeah, let's start off by taking a look at the honorable mentions. So for my honorable mentions, I have Commander Rogers. And this figure is awesome. If you like the Captain America from last year, you're going to love this guy. And he became really inexpensive on Amazon. I think he got down to like $50 or something like that. So he's really worth picking up, but just not quite top 5 for me. But he definitely is awesome. He's a great figure. And then you have the previews exclusive Daredevil. And the reason I like this figure so much is because it sounds funny to say, it's because he's ugly. Like, I like how ugly the colors are, and how the yellow and the red it looks goofy to me. I always thought that first appearance Daredevil was goofy, but I love the way this figure looks. And yeah, he's really unique, and I like the fact that he's so different from the regular version of the Daredevil. So that's an awesome figure. And then we have Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man, and I like this figure a lot. The thing that kind of kept him out of the top 5 was his ankles and his height. If he was the appropriate size and his ankles worked, I think he would have been one of my favorites of the year. But he's still a great figure. And then we have Captain Marvel, aka Shazam. And this is an awesome figure. I didn't really think, this one kind of got me because of the surprise factor. I didn't think that I'd like it as much as I do, but he's a really cool figure, has a very cool accessory, so he looks very nice when you display him and stuff like that. So that's my 4 honorable mention figures. Now let's get into the top 5. For number 5 on my list, I'm going to be going with the Flash. And I really think a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, but I love this figure. I don't mess with it or play with it too often, but when I do, I mean, he's usually just on the shelf and stuff, but when I take him off the shelf and I look at him, I'm always like impressed. I'm always like re-impressed, even though I've already seen the figure and I'm already very familiar with it. It just looks so nice. The uniform is really tight on his body, and to me, it doesn't look like pajamas. I know a lot of people say that it looks like pajamas, but I think it looks like superhero spandex to me, so I'm always happy with this figure every time I take it out to mess with them. And then he comes with some really cool effects. You know, you got these cool Speed Force type of effects, and then he comes with 2 different heads. You got the Barry Allen head and then the Wally West head, so that's awesome. It's like the best of both worlds. If anything, it just makes me want to have 2 of the Flash figures so I can display both of them. But yep, that's it. Number 5, that's the Flash. So the number 4 spot on my list is going to go to Deadpool. I love this figure. He's my favorite 6-inch Deadpool. He looks cool on the shelf. He's fun to play with. Very little flaws. One flaw he does have is this weird, you know, leathery, fake leather stuff that's on him. I do feel like it's going to get damaged over time. If it wasn't for that, he probably would have been a little bit higher on my list. But yeah, this figure is awesome, and it's pretty cool because if you got the Mezco Direct exclusive, it comes with head pull. I didn't get that version, but I just got this regular version. I do wish that he came with an unmasked head. That probably would have put him higher on the list too. But you know, number 4 is not bad at all. So that's it right there, Deadpool. And for the number 3 spot on my list, I'm going to go with the New York Comic Con exclusive Tiger Stripe Wolverine. And I love this figure. He's pretty much perfect, and it's a very iconic look for the character, and it captures that almost perfectly, other than the boots, because the boots are kind of like Mezco's own design. They wanted to go with like a more realistic look, and that's okay. They still look dope, and overall the figure is awesome. There's very little flaws on this guy. On mine, I was able to see the stitching in the crotch area, and that was very frustrating because, you know, I know that it's a super rare, expensive figure now, and there shouldn't be little flaws like that. But, you know, it is what it is. This is a very cool figure, perfect representation of this character. And it does kind of suck that it's an exclusive, and it's not easy to get, because I think everybody should be able to pick this guy up. He's dope. I love him so much. So I'm very happy to have this Tiger Stripe Wolverine. And, you know, if it wasn't for the fact that I could see the stitching in the crotch area, this might have been number 2. I don't think it would have got number 1, but it would have been number 2 for the year. But for now, he's going to sit comfortably at number 3. So that's it, Tiger Stripe Wolverine. So for the number 2 spot, I'm going to be going with Deathstroke. And I love this Deathstroke figure. I like it a lot more than I thought I would. Pretty much everything about it is perfect. I forgot to mention it in my review, but he is missing a bow staff. I do wish that he came with that, but you know, it's not a big deal. But yeah, this figure is so dope. He's got all kinds of good detail. He has good articulation, even though the armor's all in the way. And he almost could have been number 1, but I don't know. The number 1 and 2 spots were really close for me, and I didn't want like the fact that I just got him, and you know, it's exciting to have this figure. I didn't want him to I didn't want that to cloud my judgment. I think number 2 is a good spot for him, and yeah, he definitely could be number 1. I'm sure I definitely understand if people say they like this better than my number 1 pick, but the number was really strong. So, but yeah, Deathstroke, he's an awesome figure. Yeah, I love it so much. I can't wait to get the previews exclusive version. But yeah, this thing is amazing. We'll see if he stands the test of time, but I'm sure he will, because he's awesome. He's one of my favorite Mezco figures. So for me, the best Mezco figure of 2017 has got to be the Punisher. And I'm not going to pick a specific version. It's hard to say which version is the best, but all 3 of these are awesome. Every single one of them, you know, allows you a bunch of different display options. They all come with 3 different heads, a bunch of different weapons. You know, the PX version, it's kind of unfair to compare him to, because he's like a deluxe version. He comes with a bunch of cool stuff, like a duffel bag full of weapons, a trench coat and everything. But even just the standard version allows you a bunch of different options, because you could take off the armor pieces, you could take off the belt, you could change the heads, obviously, and it comes with a bunch of different guns. And then you got the classic version that isn't necessarily classic or comic accurate to any specific look of the Punisher, but I think it captures the overall feel of like a classic comic book Punisher good. I do wish it came with a more comic book looking head, but yeah, it was cool when this Punisher came out. I swear it felt like everybody had him and everybody was taking pictures of him. It was almost like an event, you know, like everybody was posting you know, constant pictures of Punisher. And yeah, he's fun to play with. He's such a dope figure, and I'm so happy to have all 3 versions. There is one more version that was like a Toy Fair exclusive that's pretty much like the standard one, but with the black chest plate. But yeah, I don't know, I never picked up that one. It's really expensive now. I probably won't ever pick it up. But yeah, I'd have to say that this is the best figure of 2017, and he came out like I want to say like April-ish, around that time, and he's still impressive. He's still dope. That's why he earned the number 1 spot, because he's no figure topped him all year, in my opinion. Deathstroke did come close, but yeah, I don't know. It's, you know, I wouldn't argue too much if someone said Deathstroke was a better figure than this, but each one of these Punishers just allows so many options. So, you know, I don't know. It is what it is. For me, Punisher was number 1. So that's it for my top 5. I'm sure not everyone's going to agree with it, but it is what it is. Let me know what your top 5s are. Please leave that in my comments. I'd love to know what everybody thought. Is Punisher on the top of your list? I really think that Punisher is going to be on the top of a lot of people's list, because he's amazing. There's a lot of amazing figures here. They put out a bunch of great stuff this year, so it's really cool to be a collector right now, because everyone's putting out a lot of dope stuff. But yeah, Mezco is my favorite line, so I'm very happy that they put out a lot of figures. Last year it seemed like there was only 5 or 6 or something that came out, and some of them were figures that I wasn't necessarily interested in. This year they put out a bunch of stuff that I was excited to get, so it was really cool. But yeah, be sure to let me know what your top 5 was down in the comments, and that's it. Please have a happy and safe holiday season, and thank you very much for watching. Peace.